Tervetuloa Game Cavein pehmeiltä sohvilta tänne Assembly Studion sohville. Me vaihdetaan nyt kieltä Suomesta englantiin, sillä mä oon saanut kansainvälisiä vieraita tänne seuraani. 9 new games have been created in the past couple of days of assembly. And here I have with me Lisa Petruchuk from Game Jam. Was your last name pronounced correctly?
Yeah, one of the variations. Why not?
Okay, I was trying my hardest.
Take it easy, really. The most important is always the first name.
Yes, and it's Lisa. Yeah. Game jams are time-bounded events in which teams of creators create a game.
Yes.
Or games at assembly this time. The game must be done during the jam time, and often the jams have also a theme for the games. Many of us already know what jams are, since this was the 8th time of game jams in assembly. And it ended yesterday, and we now get to hear fresh news on everything, how it all went. Lisa, I'm happy to have you here with me. So it was 8th time of jams in assembly, and the cooperation has gone on much longer. How has the games gone this year and the jams?
Yeah, well, this year it was crazy, as almost pretty much every year. And as you said, it was already 8th time that we are arranging Finnish Game Jam ry together with you Assembly, this jam. And we had pretty many participants, basically this time all over the world, because we had it fully online. So people also not from Finland were able to join. So we had like from USA, from Germany, even from Turkey, one person, which is crazy. And we created 9 games, and they're so different in terms of art style, in terms of game mechanics, many puzzles game that our brain actually sweated a bit when we were playing.
Why was that?
No, because everything is online. We decided that it's not fair for the game developers that we didn't have a testing session, because usually when it's physical event, other jammers or other assembly participants can join and test their games, before submitting it. So we decided when we will finish the jam, in the end, as an end ceremony, we will actually test them and play them through during the end ceremony, let's say that. So we were having our stream where we were playing them online first time. It was pretty embarrassing for me and for my partner because some of them were really complicated and they were really engaging. So we weren't able just to stop playing, on one level. We were thinking okay, what is on the level 3? We need to know. We need to know. People won't forgive us. Come on.
Well, that sounds good. So they really were good games.
Yeah.
Tell me some examples of the other games. What kind of games?
We had one 3D shooter. We had a few games with the pixel art, which was really cool. And the theme, I forgot to say, this year it was the space between worlds.
Space between worlds.
Yeah. And we had a really big discussion with my organizational team what would be the theme, because we usually reveal it, let's say, at the last minute, so that jammers' minds would be fresh and they would just, see the theme and first that comes to mind and goes into the game. And when I was approved this theme and told about it to the jammers, I was thinking it about the space, like the area, but apparently most of the people decided that it's space related, like space, like out of space.
Yeah.
But still, it's pretty fun how different people can interpret the same sentence in different way. We had the space of words, for example, in case somebody didn't hear the word. So, pretty fun.
How did you end up to this team exactly? Why did you choose it?
The theme?
Yeah.
Well, usually the theme in the jams should be something pretty general and yet specific-ish. So we just had one rule, basically. Please, no corona topics, because I think everybody already get tired of that. But yeah, something about dimensions, about the area, up, down, left, right, beyond, until the end, whatever. So yeah, somehow this was how we ended up with. Just no corona.
That was the basic rule.
Yes.
Is it, oftentimes, is it easy to decide the topic or is it hard to find it?
Usually it's hard because many cool ideas come up from us organizers and our volunteers. So I had to make even the final voting, to make sure that the majority actually votes for this team so that nobody will get offended and everything. But this year, I think everything went pretty smoothly. And most of the people were into this kind of place, out of space, out of dimension, and stuff like that. But interesting how different developers interpret it in their games.
Sounds cool. So you said you had such a wide international group of people. How many teams and participants were in this jam?
No, we had 9 games, so we had kind of 9 teams, and which is crazy. Few jammers were even participating in few teams at the same time, so they were helping others as well. And we had more than 20 people, so something like that.
Has it ever happened that one team doesn't end up with any kind of game?
We are kind of trying to monitor that and not make it happen because we always kind of we're saying that the game jam is about experience and the process. So in case something pops up, people should tell us and we're always ready to help. And it's pretty often the case that other jammers also can help you, like with some assets or with the music or sounds. So no, we are trying our best to create the atmosphere of this, let's say that everybody's helping each other. So no, I don't remember that it would be ever the case.
Well, that's good job. Speaking of jobs, so you told that your role is to support and
Yes.
Help the team.
To facilitate in a way, yeah.
Facilitate, yeah. What kind of, is it like 2 days of hard work from,
No, you wish.
24 hours, 24/7 and
No.
you're just exhausted after that?
Well, we do some promotion before the event, and I'm gathering the team of volunteers who will be actually helping during the jam and also before and after. We always divide the preparation for the jam like before, during, and after. And in all these 3 sections, there's a huge pile of work. I should use this opportunity. My volunteers, thank you so much. It wouldn't be happening without all of you.
Yeah, that must be true. How many volunteers did you have?
10 of us.
10.
10
Well,
of us.
that's a huge group of people.
Yeah, and there were a few people with me on the side and a few of them also online. So we I think we make it happen. And I just today sent the feedback form for the jammers. So we will be waiting what they will respond. How well did we do our job and everything?
Well, that was actually one thing I was going to ask you. Have you heard any kind of feedback already? How did the participants find this jam this time?
Well, online jam is probably still pretty new format for the Finnish game jam. So we're trying to make it as smooth as possible because it's anyway different thing than rather you have something physical because you can just jump in and help you out. So, yeah, we were trying to make sure that everybody's aware of everything, that people knowing the schedule, so that we will gently hurry them for the deadlines, very gently, not to being too persistent as well, in order to not disturb their developing process, because it's creative process and
Right.
you have to be careful with this as well. But, yeah, and... we also understood that it's important to give online jammers sense of community. Again, even though you're not physical,
Right.
but some kind of presence that you are together, that you are with the team. So we will be also sending some swag to the participants, like something really physical, like sticker and magnets, so that they will have some kind of memory that, okay, check in, I have been there, even though it was online.
Well, listening to you, it sounds that you're pretty happy on how it all went, even though this was the first time doing this whole thing online.
It wasn't first time, but in here at the assembly, everything is kind of happening also first time. So we had to be flexible with all the arrangement and organizational matters. Of course, not everything went according to plan, as it always does, but you have to be flexible and adapt. And I think we did really good job because we have 9 games. I don't know. For my head, it's still a crazy number in a way.
Well, it sounds crazy, and it sounds very interesting to think that how much effort and how much creativity and all that is put into all those games. It's very fascinating.
Yeah.
You're pretty lucky to get to be in this thing with them.
Yeah, even though I think we said it even to our jammers a few times that even though we're not physically like jamming by ourselves, like creating the game, we also had a lot of fun, like us organizers and volunteers, even though we were facilitating, but observing how everything happening in the discussions in each team, because we were monitoring that, of course, as well. And it was really fun to watch. Yeah. Yeah, and I think also we invested our time and effort into our own internal streams, also so that people would watch, like they're watching us right now, and feel themselves a bit closer what's happening in here from the organizational side, and show also to other people and other jammers what's happening in other teams as well. Because when you're concentrated on your work, you don't have time usually to check what's happening, like in another channel or something.
That's true.
So we were trying to deliver as much information as possible in the best way that possible. We had even Gandalf in our back of the screen happening because we assumed that this is kind of a meme of the assembly and we have to respect that. We had our piece of fun, that's for sure.
Well, that sounds good. And you always get the best results when you're having fun.
Yeah.
What's the reason, Lisa, that you are doing this game jams? Why? What does this give to you?
No, first I came to the jams from the educational point of view because I'm coming from the business background and I'm not a game developer as like developer. So I just one day understood that this is my industry and I want to know as much as possible out of it. And a few guys recommended that if you want to start your journey or start to touching, like understanding what's actually the game development is, you should start with the game jam because you kind of see what's happening within short period of time, and it's pretty similar to all the big companies that are in the industry, just in the smaller scale. But the system is pretty much the same. And to get to know with the community, because I have I'm pretty sure that the Finnish gaming community is one of the strongest one and unique ones.
Well, of course it is.
It is. It's crazy. And it's kind of funny that because I'm participating on also many conferences and I start to talk with, like you say, Canada, even Africa, and they're saying like, oh, you're from Finland. We know about your community so much. And I'm like, but we're small Finland. But people know everywhere about us.
Wow. Well, that sounds really good. This year was a little bit different from the other ones, from the previous ones. But what did you learn yourself about this specific game jam? Did it give you some kind of learnings or new ideas?
Well, the learning is that. It really depends on you need to know your audience. You need to know your audience because the approach that works most of the time might not work on this specific setting. So, for example, again, online game jam. How people want to share their information, how are they feeling shy or confident to talk, even if it's voice, do they want to hear themselves on the streams or not? So we were really did big work about being careful in terms of how we're approaching our jammers so that it would be comfortable for them, not too exposing, but also not too having too lonely ride in a way. So you have to sense your audience because you anyway, as I said, no matter how hard you plan, something is going differently and you have to adapt. So even though you think that something works, it might work today, but might not work tomorrow. So we had to adjust few things and I think everyone was happy in the end. So know your audience, but be also flexible because every time is a different. You never say, especially with the game jams, that they're all the same. Assembly is one game jam. Global game jam is another thing as well. So that's, I think, the learning in a way that I saw in practice and experienced and everything.
Well, talking about the audience, there was also you were talking about the audience of this Game Jam. How was the audience like?
I would say very diversity. There was a big diversity. Some of them were really active. Some of them were really passive. And at the beginning said, I want to work just on my own. And we respect that. That's absolutely fine. Because people are coming to the Game Jam with the different reasons. Like just to get a sense of community or to practice their skills, have more educational background, because we provide some material for that as well. And this time also we had the workshops together with IGDA Future, so we had this as a backup as well. So yeah, well, very different in a way. And you can see how different people are in their games, because every game represents the developer's personality in a way.
Well, you were involved with the Game Jam, of course, but as you said, there was IGDA's workshops going on at the same time too. You know something about them too. And you actually at least know that how they went, what happened.
Again, not everything went according to plan, but everything successfully has been completed. So the workshop happened, and I know my volunteers were picking and checking what's the situation in there, and I checked some workshops as well. But people were really engaged and into it. Because the main message of these workshops was that just to try your skill. They were not aiming to, they didn't have a message like go and study, like this is what you should learn. It was more like go check it out and try. Maybe it's something useful for you. So I know that the audience took it really well. So people were at the workshops and there were not that many questions, as it always is.
That's Finland.
Yeah. But a few of them were pretty great, as I know. And there is this IGDA, right, that most of you know, and also Natasha, who was organizing these workshops. She's also representing the IGDA Future that is oriented for actually the young generation, which is also very important for us as for the jammers as well, because it's kind of next generation of the big game developers in the big companies. So we're trying to do our best for them.
And you are. Speaking of future, and if we go back to Game Jam, what are the future plans? How do you see what's going to happen from now on next year?
Well, as I said, I think in our internal streams, I was talking so much during these 3 days. I'm trying to catch up.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
or I can hear that.
Well, Assembly Game Jam will definitely happen again. The number 8 is not the end.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, so, and we will be flexible with also with you guys, because Assembly happening usually twice in a year, like summer and summer and winter. So maybe there will be another one in winter. We don't know that yet.
Yeah.
Why not? The next one that we are going to organize is going to be the Finnish Game Jam Awards. Every year we're trying to collect all the games that have been jammed on the jams. Sorry for jam. And kind of highlight the best ones, but not in terms that, this is the game number 1 or this is game number 2, but in their own categories, like the best grandma game, the best cookie game, the best alien game, and stuff like that. So we will have that. And of course, there will be again Global Game Jam in next year that Finnish Game Jam will organize on the Finnish side of this. That's at least the few things that I can reveal already at this point. But there are more, so definitely check us out online and follow our news. A lot of stuff are going to happen nicely.
So stay tuned.
Oh, yes.
And even though I would like to just let you keep talking and talking, because you're on fire now.
I guess so.
I think we should and could now take a little look on what happened during these couple of days. We have a short video here.
Yeah.
That tells us a little bit more.
I can say a few words about that.
Well, go ahead and say.
So You will see the video of the gameplays that are really great, but you shouldn't limit yourself to the gameplays. Go to the each page and play them actually by themselves. All of them are worth it. And yeah, there will be a few sneak peeks and just small giggle in the end.
Small giggles.
Small giggle in the end. That's all what I can say. Yeah.
So we will give you some small giggles now. Let's go to the video.
Assembly Game Jam. Space between worlds. Behind the scenes. The jam. Assembly Game Jam. Best jam.
Amazing behind the scenes. 9 new games. I'm gonna go and try out them all. Can I? Yes, I can.
Yes.
Yes, and everyone else can too. Thank you, Lisa Petrichuk, for this
Thank you.
talk. Can you go to have some rest now?
Yes, please.
We'll let you go. Thank you. Ja me siirrymme eteenpäin ohjelmassa.
Sinä hyödyt siitä, mitä Jims tietää. Jims.fi.
This is Jake. His data just leaked online. If Jake doesn't react, a fake Jake could ruin his life. Luckily, Jake has F-Secure ID protection, which helps him prevent identity theft.